천자문,
千字文、
千字文.
In this lesson, we will look at characters 321 through 328 of the 1000 character classic, the 1500-year-old Chinese classic in which no characters are repeated. These lines 81 and 82 concern themselves with music and manners. The translation reads, "Music may differ by social class, but manners separate the esteemed and the lowly." Let's look at line 81 character by character. The first character here means music or enjoy. The next means differ. The third character means nobility or precious. The last one here means lowly. The translation reads, "Music may differ by social class." Now let's hear it pronounced. You'll hear it from a recording in Korean, Japanese, and Chinese.
악수귀천,
各種規制、
乐书贵贱,
I'll play those one more time.
악수귀천,
各種規制、
乐书贵贱.
Here's line 82. The first character here means manners or ceremony. Next we have separate or divide. The third character means honorable or high. The fourth means inferior or lowly. The translation reads, "But manners separate the esteemed and the lowly." Now let's hear it pronounced.
레별존비,
礼別尊卑、
礼别尊卑,
I'll play those one more time.
레별존비,
礼別尊卑、
礼别尊卑.
Let's look at a few radicals or components. First, 322. Look at the component on the right. On its own, that component is the mineral cinnabar. There are 3 characters in the 1000 classic that resemble this one. Next, look below at 323 and 324, which both have the shell radical. In old times, a shell could be a form of money, so this radical is associated not only with the sea, but with treasure and value. And those are some of the other characters in the 1000 classic that are indexed under that radical. So then we have the 325th character. It is indexed under the radical for spirit or altar. Characters related to religion often contain this radical, and this is one example of that. You'll see similar examples elsewhere in the classic. The 326th character is indexed under the blade radical, which you see on the right side. Since this character means divide or separate, it's a good example of how a radical can shape the meaning of a character. Based on the 8 characters of these 2 lines, I've come up with a word list. I've tried to select words that are common and relevant to Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. For the characters highlighted yellow at the top, I haven't found any suitable examples, so they don't appear in this vocabulary set. That usually indicates a rare character. The ones that are blue appear in this set of 8. The red ones appear elsewhere in the classic. The white ones are not in the classic. Now you'll hear the words spoken in each language. Musical instruments.
악기,
楽器、
乐器,
Music.
음악,
音楽、
音乐,
Exceptional.
특수,
特殊、
特殊,
Precious.
귀중,
貴重、
贵重,
Nobility.
귀족,
貴族、
贵族,
Discourtesy.
신뢰,
失礼、
失礼,
Particular. Special.
특별,
区別、
特别,
Distinction. Discrimination.
차별,
差別、
差别,
Respect.
존경,
尊敬、
尊敬,
Have a look one more time at the words of this lesson. See which ones you remember. I've added 100% stickers beside the words that are frequent and fairly basic within all three of the languages. So before I wrap up this lesson, I'll leave you with a few notes of intrigue or clarification. In these lines, you saw this character, which relates to manners or etiquette. Culturally speaking, it's a very important character. One of the words from this lesson's vocabulary list is this one. It means discourtesy. This word is part of frequently used expressions in Japanese and Korean that translate as excuse me in English. Japanese say shitsurei shimasu, and Korean say shirehamnida. And yes, there are other ways to say excuse me or sorry. Chinese, on the other hand, does not use this word within any of its set expressions for excuse me. Another word from this lesson's vocabulary section is this. When you're talking about unfair discrimination, as opposed to the general act of distinguishing things, this is the word that is used in Japanese and Korean. In Chinese, the word simply means difference or distinction. As for the negative, unfair types of discrimination, Chinese uses a different word, seen here. This character means enjoy and also refers to music, but if you add the plant radical to the top, you get this character, which refers to medicine or drugs. So just like people today, ancient Chinese must have believed that music is medicine. That's a wrap for this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll look at lines 83 and 84, which also include characters with musical connections such as harmony and singing.
천자문.
As always, I remind you that I make these videos partly for my own study purposes. My skills are not advanced in these languages, so it's quite likely I've made some mistakes or forgotten something obvious. So don't hesitate to point that out in the comments. And if you have a question, then drop a comment, and hopefully I or somebody can get back to you. The goal of this channel is to make a video for each line of the 1000 Character Classic while exploring language study methods and connections between the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean languages. I wish you happy and productive language studies.